welcome back to another Travels of Red Rover. I'm Sean.
And I'm Corinne.
And what are we doing this week?
Well, we're always restless, so we had to pack up the van and go on a trip. And this trip, we are going to go to southwestern Colorado. We don't have a lot of specific plans yet, but we're working on it as we travel.
Well, we do have one plan, right?
Yes, we have booked tickets on the Durango Silverton Steam Train. So we're going to try that ride and also see if there's good photogenic locations to keep track of that we can get to by car later on.
Yeah, this is kind of a planning trip. We had a little time between trips, and we're getting a little restless at home. So we decided we would just take a few days and head for Durango. Again, it's one of the great things about living in southern Utah. Colorado, Arizona, New Mexico, California, they're all pretty close to us and really only take a day and a bit to get to. And of course, we got the van out with us, and we're going to do some camping. Tonight, we're actually camping back in the backcountry near Natural Bridges National Monument.
In Bears Ears.
In Bears Ears.
Yeah.
And this is a beautiful area. We've been here before, and we found a new campsite tonight. We were kind of looking for a southern exposure on the rim, but we couldn't find that, but we did find a really nice campsite for the night. So it'll be a little camping, a little driving, a little traveling, and a train ride. We sure hope you enjoy the video.
Stop was the Natural Bridges National Monument and Bears Ears National Monument area. This is a huge area, and it's a patchwork quilt of national monuments, BLM land, and forestry land. And it is got hundreds of miles of two-track roads going through it. It's a great stop. It's a great place to find dispersed camping. So we often stop here as we're passing through. We found a great dispersed campsite on BLM land just outside of Bears Ears National Monument and Natural Bridges National Monument. And with a little bit of jockeying and driving into a little bit more difficult two-track roads, we're able to get really off the beaten path, which we really enjoy.
For those of you that may not have seen our earlier review of the van, which we'll put down in a link down below, it has a 2.5-inch lift, 31-inch tires, and these are off-road tires, big bumper and winch on the front, and a split differential in the back, which actually acts as a locker when it gets slippy. It's an all-wheel drive van, but we found it to be extremely capable in all the different gravel, sand settings that we've put it in. And really, the only two issues we have when we're using the van is that we can't take too sharp a wash that's too deep, too fast, because we tend to plow into the bottom, or we drag our back end out of the when we try to get out of the wash. And the other thing is, if we find trees that are over the top of the road that are too low for our van to get underneath. But otherwise, she's extremely capable. So Corinne and I have our little camp set up for the evening. Got our little windbreak because it is still breezy. And Corinne we're starting to have to worry about the bugs these days, so we got some citronella candles going, and we're going to get our little fire can going. So it should be nice to be able to sit out here. It's a perfectly clear night. It's absolutely beautiful. It's cooling off pretty quick, and it should be a lovely evening.
We use that little 12-volt fan to actually blow the hot air towards Corinne and I when we're sitting out here in the evening. It makes a huge difference and makes the whole fire can experience a lot nicer in the evening. Well, the clouds were very active that day, and Corinne took this awesome time lapse. We hope you enjoy it. This was a quick overnight stop for us, so we were up early the next morning and packed the van up and got going. Because we had some miles to cover, we wanted to get to Colorado fairly early in the day because we had some very specific stops in mind. I should just say that a lot of these roads in this area are usually in very good shape during the summer and fall. I should say spring, summer, and fall. You have to be a little bit careful when our monsoon season comes in, which is part of August, and there's a lot of rain. These roads can turn to become quite dangerous pretty quickly. It wasn't long before we were back on pavement and heading towards Colorado.
We have made our first stop in Colorado. We're at the Canyons of the Ancients National Monument, and we have made a stop at what's called the Lowry Pueblo, which is a restored pueblo of the Anasazi and Puebloan people.
And we're going to take a few minutes, take a little walk around, and see what we can see.
The Lowry Pueblo was uncovered on a land owned by a gentleman called Lowry, and that's the source of the name. It is an excavated and restored pueblo, so you get a view of some of the features of a pueblo. It's quite large, and there's a nice little loop trail that goes around this area. So we'll take a look at some of the features and share those with you. According to signage here, in the 1100s, the Lowry Pueblo's 8 underground round rooms were used for indoor cooking, warmth, and cozy atmosphere. And then at later times, they started building surface structures. Here's a view of one of the lower round rooms I was mentioning. Nice and cool here. They've rebuilt a fire pit at the bottom. There's light coming in from above. The round room that we were viewing is below this brick structure with the metal roof, so it's well protected and preserved. There's some signage around the outside to give you more details of the features. They believe that the early structure was originally the round rooms. There were probably 4, and over the course of about 30 years, they expanded from the lower round rooms to these upper structures that were square. And that was probably for expanding the living quarters and features of the shelter.
Assuming they cut the trees down, you would have seen some.
They believe that the Pueblo had 2 stories, and that holes along the walls here would have been used to support log beams that would be made to create the floor for the upper level. The back side of the Pueblo had no doors. It was a flat wall. And on the front side, there was probably only 1 door. Mostly they preferred to use ladders going up to upper levels, and then ladders going into the structure from above. I guess that was a good defensive move. In all, they think that there was probably about 40 rooms of this Pueblo when it was completed. This is the Great Kiva associated with the Pueblo, and it's on the east side of the building, excavated and restored. Inside are some stone structures that they've interpreted to possibly be characters of the winter people and the summer people. Originally, this probably would have had some wood beams and a roof over it. We decided after the Lowry Pueblo we would come and do a tour of the Anasazi Heritage Center, which is part of the Canyons of the Ancients National Monument. Here in front of the museum, there's an ancient pueblo that's been partially excavated. This is a map of the Lowry Pueblo created in 1930 by the Paul Martin archaeological crew. You can see the Great Kiva on the right side and the main pueblo on the left side. The Heritage Center has a great display regarding archaeologists of this region and their collaborations and what contributions they made to the archaeology. It's really interesting because so often we see the sites, but we don't know about the people who excavated and learned about the features of these sites. Early on, there was no law preventing the removal of important archaeological artifacts. And in 1893, a Swedish archaeologist removed a number of important historical artifacts, but there was no law against it, so he was able to take them back to Sweden.
I should mention these artifacts are actually well preserved in a museum in Sweden and can be viewed by the public. The U.S. government has asked for them back on several occasions and as yet have not been returned. The museum is excellent, as so many of the natural historical museums are in the United States, and is absolutely worth spending a few hours here. So it had been fairly hot all day, and Crean had done some research on onyx to find us a camping spot up in the mountains a little bit with a little elevation. Hopefully it would be a little cooler up there, and it indeed certainly was. We traveled through an area that had some lovely houses down in the valley as we worked our way up the mountainside. In fact, where we're going to end up is on top of that mountain that's just off to the right there. I should also mention that we didn't necessarily need to go up into the mountains to find the camping spot. This area had, I think, 2 or 3 BLM or forestry camping spots right along the main road. They were all lovely, but we wanted something that was a little higher in elevation and might give us an opportunity to do some photography. So us being us, we found several nice dispersed camping spots along the road, and we also found several beautiful groves of these aspens, which we noted that we might come back for in the fall. But we had to drive to the very end of the road and see what was there to be seen, and of course that ended up being our campsite. And what a campsite it was. It was absolutely gorgeous up in the big pine trees. It was beautiful temperature, there wasn't many bugs. It had a nice little hiking trail going off to the left there. So we spent the afternoon with our feet up. I also took that opportunity to do some drone photography right above us of this absolutely gorgeous area.
Corinne and I went for a short walk this afternoon, and up in an aspen forest. It's very well, aspen and pine forest. It's been a really pretty little area. It was excellent for a little walk.
So we were up first thing in the morning, got ourselves organized, and headed back down the mountain. Corinne wanted to take some shots of a couple spots as we went down the mountain, primarily for documentation purposes so that we'd know where to come back to at a later time. We often do this when we're exploring new sites and haven't decided if we're going to stay there for photography or not, or if we're planning another fall photography trip with these beautiful aspens. So this is a pretty typical activity for us, and Corinne wanted to make sure she got at least relatively early in the morning shots.
Well, it's a glorious spring morning, and the temperature is beautiful. We've taken a drive from Dolores, Colorado, up into the mountains. We went up County Road 38 and went past all the campgrounds and then found a side road that we're checking out with some views down into the valley where the county road is located. And we found a little pull-off overlook. So we're going to try taking a few photos here, and Sean's going to do some drone work. There's the view out to the west, and then looking north, some hillsides. Some of the aspen haven't yet got their leaves, or they've just got leaves on the very tops of them. There's some pine forest as well. And then looking over here more to the northeast, some nice slopes and drainages. Everything's very lush and verdant. So we'll see what we can capture on camera. I'm going to shoot some of my pictures handheld today. The sun's up pretty high. It's mid-morning. What I'm going to do is use about a f11 aperture and then turn up my ISO so that I get a faster shutter speed. And that should take care of any potential camera shake from hand holding. I've walked down the road a little ways, and there's this nice valley down below with the county road going through it on one side, a scattering of pretty houses down there in clearings. It's a little hard to photograph right now because I'm facing northeast and the sun is pretty bright, so it's not the best time of day to get this one. This would be much nicer as a later afternoon picture, but the clouds are lovely and it's a good reference shot that I can keep so that if I come back for some fall photography to this area, I'll have it marked and know what the view looks like.
Sure hope you enjoyed Corinne's photographs. As you can see from these videos, we are perched on a slight pull-off on the side of the road. What's not really noticeable in the videos is how much of an angle the van is on. We are really leaning off the mountainside at a pretty good angle here, and it was pretty uncomfortable being in the van or actually being too close to it and seeing the angle. We did get a chance to take some nice photographs, and I got some nice video of the valley here, and it's very, very beautiful. After about an hour, we got underway and headed to our next destination. It had been beautiful up the mountain here, but we had places to go. We were now heading for Durango to go on the Silverton-Durango train.
Well, good morning, folks. And we are off on a new adventure. And where are we off to today, Kareen?
Today we're in Durango, Colorado, and behind us is the train, the Durango Silverton Steam Train. We're going to take a ride up to Silverton, have a look around, enjoy the route along the way, because I think it's quite unique compared to the road travel.
So we're going to have a good time. I'm sure we're going to have a good time. We are on Yankee Girl. That's the name of the train we're going to be on today. And let's get going before they call the all aboard.
So here's the train. They're starting to load up some of the cars here. There are multiple seat options here. You can choose a first class car. You can choose one of the open air cars. You could choose a somewhat enclosed car with opening windows. And the services in each car change a little bit as well.
Hi, I'm Tosh. I'm a first-class car attendant for the Durango and Silverton Narrow Gauge Railroad. And here we like to have a good time. We like to tell you about the history and the route. We have won for the last 4 years running USA Today's #1 scenic train ride of America. And we look forward to seeing you guys next summer.
And as soon as the train was all loaded up and we headed out, Tosh got right into giving us some information about the train and about the views we're going to see. And here are some of those clips. Well, we've all gotten off the train here in Silverton and stopped at this wonderful Golden Block restaurant. It's a creamery, serves beer and pizza and all the usual stuff. And seeing lots of the train goers here as well.
Okay, so we're off the train in Silverton.
Yeah, we've had some lunch. It's a good idea to get that done first. We have a 2-hour break here.
Yeah, and then we're going to do a little tour of the town and then get back on the train.
This is the county courthouse. This is Old Town Square. Some clothing stores, gift shops, places available for rent. And you'll find public restroom here. They accept donations for the upkeep.
And here are a few clips of our walk through town. We hope you enjoy them.
Here's our steam engine, 493.
And the steam engine's getting ready to go to take us back to Durango.
So folks, we had a great time on the train today, and that was made especially good by Tosh here, who was our private attendant for the whole time. She made sure we didn't fall off the train, among other things. She was a great guide. If you've never been on the Durango Silverton train, this is something that should be on your bucket list. So we're back at our RV park campground after having a wonderful day on the train. I just want to know how you felt about it, Green.
It was definitely a worthwhile trip. I wasn't sure because it's a big commitment of time. You're on the train about 2.5 hours each direction with 2 hours in Silverton. So it takes up most of the day.
And for us to do that means 2-day trip to get here, an overnight in an RV park in order to be there first thing in the morning, and then maybe a two-day trip home. Although we do have a lot of fun on the trip here and the trip home.
Yeah, we do lots of stops along the way. But our host, Tosh, was excellent at giving us a tour guide view of everything along the way, and we really enjoyed the ride.
And we came up here in the spring, so it is the 1st of June today when we came. And the trees are all pretty much leafed out, and they're very young, so there's lots of bright fluorescent greens and very, very beautiful trip up.
And
now,
most of the snow is melted.
Yeah, most of the snow is melted, but they say that's happened a lot faster than normal this year.
Yeah, and the river is raging, the Animas River.
Yes, it's really, really going. Now, we've been up to Silverton in the late fall, and I have to say that would be another great time to take the train with the fall colors. And we have photographed the train actually coming into Silverton on a fall day, and that was just absolutely beautiful as well. So I don't think there's any bad time of year to take the train and going up for the trip. It's just really well done. Well, Karina and I sure hope you enjoyed the video today. And if you did, please give us a thumbs up.
And if you'd like to see more of our videos, we'd really appreciate it if you'd go ahead and hit that subscribe button and maybe hit that notification bell while you're down there so that you're notified when new videos are posted.
And YouTube tells us that about 85% of the people that are watching our videos are not subscribed. So we'd really appreciate it if some of you would actually get down there and subscribe for us so I can build the channel.
We love to hear your questions, comments, thoughts. So if you have anything you want to share with us, we'd appreciate it. And you can put those comments down below in the comments section. And one thing is, we'd like to hear whether you're enjoying these travels with us and scenery, or whether you want the hardcore photography.
Yeah, we'd really like to know. And again, put it down in the comment section below. We read all of them and actually enjoy getting comments from you. So until next time, bye for now.
Bye for now.
Yeah, just let it